It is. It is. But kind of a cool song. Fun song. A little loud. I kept trying to turn it down. All right, now it's got to go back up. Just leave it alone.
Blast it.
Did indeed. That we sang a song. Well, we didn't sing a song. We played the new song today. This Is Me by The Greatest Snowman.
Greatest Snowman. Showman.
Correct.
Can't read his own writing.
There's a Freudian slip. Are we wanting to know?
No.
Not yet. No, not yet.
The Greatest Snowman. What?
Greatest Showman.
I didn't know any better.
Okay. Psychic Awakening.
With Michelle Lanigan this Thursday. There's a fee for that class, but you're welcome to join. It starts at 6:30. Mm-hmm. It's kind of an addition to the meditation class that she had last time.
Cool.
So way cool stuff.
So it looks like that's just that this week.
And then emotion coach, she's still out of town. Maria is, her daughter had a baby, so she went to help, and then her son-in-law had surgery, so she's really helping out.
Okay.
So
Cool.
sound good?
Outstanding. Calendar is starting to fill up a little bit, and there's some things I think that are on there that are actually not there, right? Maybe if you go to the website. The website will give you anything that's currently going on or changed.
Lord
But
willing and the creek don't rise.
Yeah.
Yep. Mary Lou's really good about that.
I know. Trust, t-shirts and sweatshirts you might want to do. Trust me, I'm an engineer. Okay.
Whatever.
Yeah. There's a picture of a glass half full. Optimist, the glass is half full. Pessimist, the glass is half empty. Engineer, the glass is twice the size it needs to be. And it was easy. If it was easy, anyone could be an engineer. Okay. Whatever. We both did it.
You did it better than
We
I
do
did.
have a couple patron saints by the name of John Lennon and George Carlin.
Yay, George and John.
It is so fun. We have a couple people here that we have not seen in forever.
Yes, really
So
nice.
welcome. Thank you.
Welcome
Thank
home.
you. Yep. Some things never change. I mean, it's fun, and you guys haven't been away as long as some of the people we get back. We had a couple people here a couple weeks ago, probably been 10 years, each of them. And so my favorite question to ask is, other than the people being completely different than when you were here last, has anything else really changed? I mean, anything, feeling has changed, or songs? And it's always, nope, not really. The messages are always the same, but obviously completely different. But so
The feel is the
yeah,
same.
the feel
The
is
love is
all
the
the
same.
same. So that's cool. That's cool. I like to hear that because we sure try.
Yeah, we do.
John Lennon said, "As breathing is my life, to stop I do not dare."
True.
And George, if it requires a uniform, it's a worthless endeavor.
Don't listen, Paula.
He would. George was very anti-establishment
Oh, yeah.
of any sort.
Yes.
Okay, ooh, almost covered up one of my favorite books. Don't do that, Phil.
What have you got for us today?
An emotion ceases to be a passion as soon as we form a clear and distinct idea of it.
Say that again.
An emotion ceases to be a passion as soon as we form a clear and distinct idea of it.
Oh, I say bull hooey.
I'm just, it doesn't mean whether it is true or not, it just makes you think.
Who said that?
Benedict Spinoza, 1632. What did they know all that back then?
Benedict. Jeez.
Though pride is not a virtue, it is a parent of many virtues.
What?
Why don't I just stop out of this?
Why?
Nothing's really working today at all. We'll just
No.
let your right past that one and move right along.
Was that your favorite book?
Well, it's just one of those pages. Obviously was not ringing true now.
Bust those out.
Different century something.
Yeah. The song "Happy Birthday to You" was originally written. I can't even talk today very well. Was originally written by sisters Mildred and Patty Hill as "Good Morning to You." The words were changed when it was published in 1935. Annual royalties for the song averaged $2 million.
Wow.
Wow. For happy birthday?
For a happy birthday. Almost 90 plus years later. Pretty
My
amazing.
mom used to sing "Good Morning" to me.
Yeah,
Yeah, I used to sing.
like it.
I sing that all the time.
I do too.
And I never
That's
noticed
awesome.
they were the same tune.
Good morning to you.
Good morning to you. Better a diamond with a flaw than a pebble without.
It's okay.
Confucius. It's Confucius. So confusing.
Confusing.
St. Francis of Assisi. Praise to thee, my Lord, for all thy creatures, above all brother's son, who brings us the day and lends us his light.
Sweet.
Isn't that nice?
It's very sweet.
Yeah.
That's why he's a saint.
I remember Francis of Assisi when I was a Catholic. He was one of my idols. He was a cool guy. Happy is the house that shelters a friend.
Yes.
Time and tide wait for no man or woman. The beginning of all things are small.
True. Can be. Small as a little thought, a little passion.
And now from the big book. Not the good book.
Not the good book or the big book from AA.
Okay, this is
Just it's a bigger book than the others.
I know there's one here from Johnny Carson I read and I cracked up, but I don't know if anybody else would really appreciate it at all. I'm going to do it anyway. This was Johnny Carson said this. There are very few Japanese Jews. As a result, there is no Japanese word for Alan King.
Who's
It had
Alan
to-
King?
He was an actor, comedian / celebrity many decades ago.
Before my time.
Like I said, it was one of those things like, well, only a fraction of the people would even get what that was.
Well, I'm part of the fraction that
Okay,
didn't.
well, here's Sophie Tucker, equally as impressive. From birth to age 18, a girl needs good parents. From 18 to 35, she needs good looks. From 35 to 55, she needs good personality. And from 55 on, she needs cash. I know.
goodness
It's just
sakes.
silly. It's just silly stuff.
I'm glad nowhere in there did say she needed a man.
No.
Yeah.
No.
We like them.
Yeah.
We want to be around them, but
Good thing. Some of these are just so goofy, there's no way anybody's going to get them because they make really no sense except maybe to a little child and me. What do you call a flying skunk? This is one of them.
stink bug?
A smelly copter. What do you call a sheep with no legs?
Matt.
A cloud.
Matt.
Wow.
Hey, Vlad. Good
Hey,
to
Vlad.
see you. Woo.
Why were the owl parents worried about their son?
You didn't give a hoot?
Very good,
Ooh,
because he
he
didn't
didn't give
seem
a
to give a hoot about anything. Yeah, and that's one of those ones that makes sense. Yeah. What's the difference between a cow and a donut? Yeah. It's a lot harder to dunk a cow in a cup of coffee. I guess that half of them you're just plain not going to get because there's nothing to get.
Those are beyond bad dad jokes.
I know.
Well, with that said,
Yes.
moving on, we have a guest speaker today.
We do.
Yes, we
Yay.
do. And I am
Jan
very...
spoke last week, and I think it was maybe our second smallest group in history in
Yes.
27 years
Because
because
of
of the
the
race.
So our speaker this morning is one of our very favorite people who
Makes a lot of noise.
she just is phenomenal. If you ever look at the website, her name is written all over it. Not literally, but she's does a lot of that. If you looked at the graphics for yesterday's class, oh my gosh, she did a phenomenal job on that. Let's give a big, giant, divine fellowship welcome to Beth Clark. However you want to do that.
How's that?
Yeah. Perfect.
It's so hard to follow Phil's jokes, isn't it? Hello, you beautiful people, you.
Hello.
I see. I think it's okay. Is my picture okay? Anyways, I'm talking about heaven on earth today. And I'm sharing, I'm sharing some personal experiences that occurred to me over 25 years ago. Over a period of 25 years. So there's a lot coming together for this particular talk today. And 25 years ago, I woke up from a dream with the desire to go to a rainforest. And in this dream, I had found myself inside this beautiful temple. And in this temple was full of this golden energy. And it was so blissful. And surrounding me in this temple were all these higher beings, angelic beings. I think maybe they're second nature to me now, that sense of beings, and to you. But 25 years ago, that was an experience that was coming to me out of the blue. But it was beautiful. And from that temple, I walked out into a rainforest. And that rainforest, I felt so alive. The moisture was on my skin, and I could hear the birds, and the green was so green, and it was so absolutely lovely that when I woke up, I said, I want to go to a rainforest, and the rainforest that came to my mind was Costa Rica. And I had not traveled very much, but I'd heard that Costa Rica had a lovely rainforest. And so I was going to go to Costa Rica. But again, I hadn't traveled much, and shortly after that, I was visiting with my cousin in Atlanta, and she had traveled a lot. And she had traveled a lot and actually had lived in Colombia for a while, so she was traveled a lot in Central America and South America. And I said, what do you know about going to Costa Rica? And she said to me, that's one place I haven't been to, but I was planning on going to Guatemala. And it fell through last moment, but I might be going in the next year or so. But of course, that doesn't have the rainforest, at least where I'm going, that you're thinking about. And I said, well, okay, thank you. And I still wanted to go to Costa Rica. And I got on a plane to return back home, and I had a layover in Dallas, Texas, I think, in the airport. And I got off the plane, and ahead of me, there was this young woman, and she stopped one of the attendants and said, where's the flight to Guatemala? Antigua. Guatemala City. Where's the flight to Guatemala City? And I caught up with her and I said, oh, that's funny. My cousin and I were just talking about Guatemala. You're headed there? And she said, yes, but I'm late for my plane. And so she moved off. So I stopped to have lunch, and a little while later, the same woman showed up and she said, my plane got delayed. And we ended up sitting down and having lunch together. And she told me about these adventures she was going to be having in Guatemala. And it was very cool. She was going to be working there for a year and finding out information about the birth mortality rates and the maternal mortality rates in Guatemala. Because she said that we believe they're way underreported. And I went, that's so cool. I'm so excited for your adventure. And I gave her my email. She said, yeah, I'm going to be sending out updates. And sure enough, when I got home, I had an update that she had made it there safely. But she also said in her email that you couldn't return message her, that this was just her sending it out, but it wasn't, unless there was an emergency, you couldn't use this email address to reply to her. So I've been enjoying her updates, but I still wanted to go to Costa Rica. And just for background, during that time, I was very much into weaving. I had a little tabletop loom, and if you knew me, you were going to get a runner or a coaster or something. I think people kind of got tired of it for a while. But anyways, I loved weaving quite a bit. So I went to the library, back when you do that, and got a whole bunch of guidebooks like this on Costa Rica to figure out my trip to Costa Rica. And I set them down, and the librarian starts looking at them, and she looks at me and she goes, "Just a minute." And she gets out all the way from behind her desk, and she said, "Come here, you got to take this." And she said, and she handed me a tour guide for Guatemala. And then she turns around and she said, "I'm sorry, you clearly want to go to Costa Rica. I don't know why I just did that." But she said, "I guess I'm a weaver, and every weaver has to go to Guatemala." And it's like I had been weaving all morning. I'm like, okay, so that's 3 times, go to Guatemala. But maybe I was new to the whole process and I was still not quite getting it. But during that time, I started having other dreams. And one of them, I was in this village and I was looking down. I was in the air looking down at a healer. It reminds me of our healing room now. It was a group of people sitting around, but it was led by this one man, and he had incense and all that, and he was healing somebody. And he looked up at me in the dream, and he said, beckoned for me to come and join him. And I woke up from the dream, and I literally jumped out of bed and realized I had no idea where I was supposed to go to be able to join this man. Another dream that I had was a recurring one. And for me, I kept on seeing this woman that looked very much to me like Mother Mary. And I most often would see her on a bridge, but half of her face was covered. And I thought that was really interesting. And I wasn't quite sure what that dream meant. And as I was contemplating it one day, all of a sudden these words came through me. And these were the words. It said, "I am Mary." I said, "Who are you?" She said, "I am Mary. I am Our Lady of Guadalupe." I'm like, wow, okay. "I am protector of the earth, and I am defender of the divine feminine." And she said, "With so much love, you are out of balance." And I realized that veil over half of the face was that, I was very much into my engineering and project management at that point. And that was not connecting to both sides of my brain. And then she said, "But the world is out of balance." And I realized that it was not just me that was out of balance. And then I had this image, and it was so vivid to me that the earth had this rhythm to it, like a wave going like that. And then I saw us as people, and our energy was like that, like your when you put your hand and you slap on a wave and it just causes all that disruption. And I remember even chuckling at the time because I worked so much with contamination issues. I'm like, oh my gosh, we're the contaminant. and I saw that. And then I also saw the potential that we could get back in rhythm. It wasn't certain. We had to make that choice, but that we could. And I heard that as I learned to get back in balance, I would help others learn to find their balance. And then there was this discussion about ancient wisdom coming back around again, creating heaven on earth. And that was a phrase that really Okay, what does that mean? Ancient wisdom coming back around again, creating heaven on earth. And then the words that I was to be a healer, but not of the body, but of the soul and of the earth. And then the words, trust and come. We are calling you. Trust and come. Trust and come. And to me, that was the story of the village and that man calling me. And then as clear as day, I heard, now go to page 396 in the Guatemala tour guide. I don't remember if that was the page, but it was a very specific page. And I had looked through that guide before, but I had not gone towards the end. And I went to page 396 and I opened it up. And it was this beautiful picture of the Temple of Tikal. And underneath it, in big bold letters, temple in the rainforest. Well, wait, there's more. And beneath that was an advertisement or a description of a school, a escuela, and an email address in bold letters to contact them. That email address was the same email address that I had been receiving emails from that girl that I met in the airport in Dallas, Texas.
Wow.
Oh my gosh, so needless to say, I ended up going to Guatemala. And it was a beautiful experience, and so much I could say about that. But I'm talking about heaven on earth, and so I have to talk about the Temple of Tikal. And it was such a wonderful experience, but what I learned about the Temple of Tikal and the Mayan beliefs is that heaven is not like I had always viewed it, as something that you reach after you die, and something that there was some set of rules, and everybody had a different set of rules, but there was some set of rules that you had to strive to meet in order to qualify to go to heaven. So it was something out there in the future, whereas the Mayan beliefs of temples is that there's layers of heaven. And that within the temple is a place where you can go up and down and access those different layers to reach the gods and the resources to help you in your life today. And that ancient belief of heaven not being some remote place is really prevalent. I bet you're all thinking about other different beliefs that are out there. And just even in the Jewish seventh heaven, 7 layers of heaven. And in the Jewish belief, they have, people that actually pray, trying to bring down that heavenly energy into the earth on a daily basis. So my Protestant view of heaven was probably in the minority of worldviews. And I, to this day, though, still hold it because it's so much in my DNA, that story about that view of heaven. So let me move ahead quickly now because I had some more experiences. 10 years later, I had another dream. And in that dream, and I'm now in the Tri-Cities, and in that dream, I was dying. I was on my deathbed. And my life flashed in front of me. And all those things that I saw that I was pretty sure I was going to have regrets about, I didn't. I heard, it's all good. That's all part of everyone's learning. But then in the dream, I found myself outside underneath a beautiful weeping willow tree. And I was down on the ground and I was crying because my regret was that I had not connected to the earth. That I had not connected to the earth. And I went, wow. So again, I'm talking about heaven on earth, and I think part of what that is saying, it's heaven on earth. There's 2 parts to that, right? And that idea that we have to connect, in order to feel heaven, we need to connect to the earth first. Because when you connect with the earth, remember those waves, when your heartbeat beats as one, right? Isn't that the Native American belief? When you really think of Mother Earth as a living being and your heart beating with Mother Earth, then that amplifies, and then you can feel heaven. Now let's fast forward to another experience. And this one was probably about 5 years ago, and I was in Juneau, Alaska. And I was up there for a wedding. And I got a chance the last day before I left to visit with some of my family a Orthodox church. And I don't know, maybe some of you've seen it. It's just this cutest little church. And it was on a Sunday afternoon, and we were walking up, and I was saying, hey, I really want to go see this church. And there was somebody clearly locking up. And then that person, and they had the close sign, and that person stopped without turning around, paused, and turned it to open, and turned around and looked at us, and waited for us to catch up. And he said, I had a nudge in the back of my head that I was to stay here. And he took us into the church, and it was just lovely because they had a very small church, but they had all this beautiful incense smell. And in the middle of the church, or around the edge of the church, were all these relics, you know, from all the different saints and everything. And this gentleman that had the nudge on this differently abled, you know, what it was, I don't know, because you might think at first it was simple, but not at all. He had different mental abilities than we did. And one of his gifts was he spoke many languages. And he started to say the Lord's Prayer. You know, our Father, Mother, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. And he said it in 5 different languages. Including in Russian, in English, in Latin, in Gaelic. And we're all just going, wow. And his love and his bliss of that place was so evident. And as we left that place, on the door, on my way out, was a sign that said heaven on earth. And I was to find out that the Orthodox belief of heaven on earth, that truly their sacraments and their rituals and their construction and all that of their church is that heaven is not a separate place. Heaven is something that you create on earth in those spaces. And so things such as communion that we do, that is creating heaven on earth. We're bringing these relics and these energies into a space to create heaven on earth. So I went home, and with this kind of revisiting my whole thoughts about heaven on earth, and I was the next day tired and laying on my back deck, kind of resting from my travels, and I suddenly had this vision, and in this vision, I saw the church before it was being built. And there were these probably priests or whatever they call them, and a native, and they were looking at the ground, choosing a place for that church to be sent. And in that, I suddenly felt the energy come up from the earth and fill me again, very much like that golden, beautiful energy that I had felt in my other visions. And I saw within the church that there were energy centers, just very much like chakras. You know, rooted deep in the earth and going up to the very top. And then the very top was like a soul chakra. And that chakra was connected to the other churches. So that this energy was tapped into, you know, their mothership back in wherever. But there was a connection that was very deliberately and thought out. And whether this happened in reality or whether on an energetic plane, I don't know. But it was a very vivid picture for me. And then I saw a different vision. And in this vision, it was today. And I started to see that today that there are spiritual centers all around the world. And that these spiritual centers around the world are connecting to each other. And they're bringing in this energy. And right there in the center of it all is the Divine Fellowship. And I could feel it, and I could see that energy around the Divine Fellowship. And I could see that possibility, that maybe, just maybe, there's more than we can, in what we do. We have more power than we maybe think. Because we're not alone in what we're acting. So yesterday, I just happened to watch an old Christopher video. And I just want to read something. And in light of what I just said, just listen to his words. This is a pivotal time for our world. The earth is a living being. And I truly believe we can have peace on this planet. We are that powerful. If you have faith even the size of a mustard seed, you can move mountains. That's how powerful we are. Christ said to the Romans, you can tear down this temple, but I will rebuild it in 3 days. He was speaking about resurrection and the power we have within us. And I'll add the power we collectively have within us. So let's remember our light and power. Let's bring peace to this world. Let us bring heaven on earth. And I want to do a blessing, but I'm going to ask Paula and Vlad to come up. And I just think that the crystal bowls fit perfectly now. And as they get ready and set up, I want you to imagine that our church right now is within a pyramid of golden energy. And this behind me or in front of you is our east. And to my left, your right is our south. And then we have the west behind and the north. So go ahead and close your eyes. And feel if you're there and want to turn off the lights. A blessing for the Divine Fellowship. We call upon Great Spirit, Father, Mother, God, to bless this sacred space, the Divine Fellowship. Connected with Mother Earth, feeling her heartbeat, we receive her loving energy. And from Father Sky, we embrace the beautiful golden light gifted to us from above. May the light of love and protection surround us as we stand within this pyramid filled with golden energy. To the east, we welcome the ancient Christian guardians, the Archangel Uriel, and we honor the Native American beliefs and bring in the eagle. Archangel Uriel and eagle, bringing clarity, vision, and the strength to soar. And behind you to the west, we welcome the guardians, Archangel Raphael, and the spirit guide of the bear, bringing healing, sustenance, and the wisdom of our dreams. And to the south and to your right, we welcome the guardian, the Archangel Michael, and we welcome Wolf, bringing us protection, strength, trust, and the courage to grow beyond our comfort levels. And to the north, we welcome the guardians of the Archangel Gabriel and White Buffalo, bringing harmony, communication, deep spiritual connection, and leadership. In unity, we seek the vision of creating heaven on earth, right here, right now, and within the soul of this church, may we radiate this light out into the world. We set our intention for healing, service, and the betterment of all, and together we connect with the spiritual centers around the world, elevating the energy and consciousness, bringing peace to the planet. Aho. Amen. Now enjoy the sound bath.
Gently come back to the here and now.
They're still humming.
Wakey, wakey.
Wow.
Cool. Thank you.
Very. So I would like to read a Bible verse for you as we prepare for communion. There's little communion cups in the back if you've not received one already. There's gluten-free and regular, whichever works for you. Jesus talked about manifesting, and he talked about abundance. Ooh, okay. There's abundance of light. So in Luke chapter 6, verse 38, give, and it will be given to you. Good measure, pressed down, shaken together, running over, they will pour into your lap. For whatever measure you deal out to others, it will be dealt to you in return. This is the power of giving. We don't care about your money here. I mean, certainly there's bills that need to be paid, blah, blah, blah.
God does not need your money.
Yeah, God does not need your money. But this is a matter of giving your light, giving from your heart. And from that, this beautiful abundance then flows back to us. Mm-hmm. So we want to thank you for that. It's just a part of the cycle. So with that, let's take our little wafer here. Join us in prayer, please. Loving Spirit of light, thank you for allowing us to be in this blessed space. Thank you for the amplification of this blessing that you bring to us. Thank you. In the name of Jesus, the Ascended One. Amen.
Amen.
Join us in prayer again, please. Loving Spirit of light, as we drink this in, help us to drink in life, all of it, and help us to drink in the abundance that you bring to us. Thank you for this blessed place where we can come and remember our sacredness. Thank you. In the name of Jesus, the Ascended One. Amen.
She already said it.
Ditto.
Ditto. As the baskets are running themselves around, as they're moving around, let's do an energetic circuit for the folks online. And then Phil will cue up a song for us and we'll do our energy circle here. So we're still connected into all that abundance. Can't you feel that beautiful, blessed energy? Excuse me, and you can feel the groundedness. We're connected in. Bring that connectedness into your heart space. And from your heart space to your left hand to right hand, back to your heart space. And this creates an energetic circuit. And that energetic circuit now is open and flowing. Abundance is flowing. And you'll feel the energy building between your hands. Like a sphere of light here. You can feel that. Just even take your hands apart and squish them together. You can feel the concentration of energy. This is divine energy, and it takes no effort on your part to receive it, and it can be such a blessing. So bring that into your heart space. Have a great week. We will see you next time. Be well.
Bye.
Bye.